AnySquared Spotlight Art Talks highlight member and friend artists of all ages and experiences.
All right.
Hi everyone, welcome to AnySquared Spotlight, and this week we're excited to showcase Carlos Vazquez, who is one of our dear friends and who has been at AnySquared for a few years. I know via Dahlia, Jerry invited Dahlia and Dahlia invited Carlos, and he's
Thank you,
been around
Jerry.
ever since. And Carlos is, an illustrator. He's an artist. He's been doing murals lately, and he's also been teaching at Brighton Park Neighborhood Council for a CPS after school art programs, which I'm super proud of you for doing that. Also, the other thing is like, in terms of AnySquared, you've always been willing to help give a hand installing exhibits, transporting things, helping do all kinds of things for AnySquared, and we are always appreciative. And I'm excited to hear your talk about like you as an artist, and what you've been doing lately, and also what you've been doing your whole life as an artist. So Carlos, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. So thank you, Tracy, for having me on the spotlight. Thank you, AnySquared, Hairpin. Thank you, everybody, for coming and checking out the video, checking out the stream. So yeah, I think most of you guys, I've known mostly everyone here for a few years now, but just a little bit about my background. From Southside Chicago, Southwest Chicago, and I've been doing art for pretty much my whole life. I can remember being very, very young, toddler, a preteen, and carrying around a briefcase with a bunch of doodles in it. So as far as like drawing and stuff, yeah, I've always done that. But I didn't take, although I've always wanted to, I've always expressed that I would want to do this as a living. I didn't actually start taking it serious until a few years back. And little by little, kind of noticing that if I would want to do this as a career or as as a living, that I would have to put in the time, just like with everything. And it hasn't been up until recently, up until this last year, where I took a stepped outside of my comfort zone in the sense of like having to socialize a bit more. And I definitely have to thank AnySquared and Tracy for that. Constantly pushing me. If you ever saw me at shows, if you ever saw me at galleries or festivals, showing, it is a lot of gratitude. It is thanks to Tracy. She's usually always the one telling me to just do it and go for it. So so thank you, Tracy, for that. Um, yeah, like she said, recently, more this past year, especially with COVID and everything, I helped out on the walls and started doing a bit more mural work. Um, Probably not, you guys probably have not seen most of them just because, again, I'm not very good at archiving my work and sharing it. But I do plan to do that more often. I really like it, even though for my first big mural, the one over in Brighton Park, I definitely learned to not go solo for something that big. Um, so so yeah, but I'm learning just along with everything. And like I mentioned earlier, I am now art instructor for Kelly High School and Davis Elementary. So if you guys have any kids, please let me know. Send me an email and I can get them into the class. It is free. The materials are free, and like I said, we are very well funded. Um, so yeah, so I don't really want to do this like slideshow thing because I think it can be a bit dragging, like a bit too formal. So if anybody has any questions or interest about my work, you guys can check out my Instagram. It's at The Crude. So that's TheKrood. yeah, so that's me. That's also my work. This is one of my more recent works behind me. Still not done with it. Still have a lot to go. Um, any questions so far? Any questions from anyone? Any interests?
I'd like to see
Hey,
some of
Carlos.
your, go ahead.
Hey, I was just wondering, so when you say you're the art instructor there, does that mean like what does that mean? Does that mean like it's for the extracurricular class, or you're working there like the position is like you're intaking all of these kids?
Right. So basically, I work through an organization that sends out instructors or teachers or mentors out to different schools. So right now it's remote, and even though I'm hired through them, I still have like a CPS ID and a CPS, password and all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it's really, really rewarding. Definitely something really nice, really that stands out in a resume. So I'm really glad for that. I don't see myself in the future like making a career out of teaching kids.
Okay.
But it is very rewarding. It's really nice to get the kids' heads out of all this, all this craziness going on around us. But yeah, I'm very thankful for that position as well.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, Jacob. It means a lot, man.
There's a couple of questions in the chat.
In the chat, sorry guys, I'm new to the Zoom.
What inspires you?
Where do I draw inspiration
Yeah.
from? I definitely have to say, I think like all of you guys, everything around me, everything from other artists to art itself. A lot of times, it's emotionally driven, right? Especially, with all the BS we have to put up with those who are in power, locally and federal. So yeah, it comes from all around. Sometimes I think I would like to be able to narrow down my style or grab a style, because I don't have one. Although I've been told many times in the past that people see my work and they're like, "Oh, dude, that's yours," and I'm surprised that they know it, because I don't actually see myself having a style, just because maybe I will do portraits, one night, and then the next I'll do some like fictional stuff, and then I'll do animals. So I don't have a specific style, but currently I am trying to focus on doing more realistic stuff, more technical wise, technicality, trying to learn how to paint more realistic and things like that.
I think you do have a style in your more characters where you draw getting personality from your drawings. I do think
Yeah,
that you have,
absolutely.
yeah, you have a certain
that's usually
sense
where
of
people,
humor, or it's a little, sometimes it's like, you choose to do the ugly sides of people, or a sense of humor, or some kind of quirkiness. I think all of your
yeah,
drawings are like
dude,
that.
absolutely. That's usually where people comment most on my sketches, on my doodles of people. I recommend my kids to always go out and people watch, go to a Walmart. I know I tell them it's super hard nowadays with everything being how it is. But yeah, for a long time, and I really would like to get back to it, just like go to the mall and sit down and watch people. There's no better characters that you can find than people at the mall. If you want a specific look, then I'll start thinking about, hey, maybe I want, to draw somewhere a little bit more conservative. I'll go to a Starbucks or something. But yeah, I definitely see it on my doodles though, on my sketches, on my people sketches.
And Jerry said he asked you, how
I
did you
started
start
working there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine has worked there for a long time, and that big insect mural on that that I have on my background, on my Facebook background, that is actually a job I did for the council before I started working there. Just sort of, I asked her if there was graffiti all on the wall, and I asked her that if she wanted it cleaned up, I can do that for her. And yeah, I got it. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Yes. And I hope to be able to do to have it like you. I drive, through back of the yards or Villita, and I see your stuff everywhere, man. So I'm gonna catch up to you, dude. I'm gonna catch up to you. Yeah, I think that we take too much, we give too much, we sort of make a disconnect with that, with seeing these big pieces of works, and we sometimes feel like maybe we can't do that, or maybe that's like too big of a, but I think the first step is just to go and ask, to go and do, whether you're doing, whether you want a piece, whether you want to paint a small, door or something huge. You're not going to lose any at all by going and asking, hey, can I paint on your wall, and I think a lot of artists are intimidated by that, and I'm very happy that I got past that, because I've gotten a lot of cool offers, and yeah, a lot of cool chances to work with some very cool artists, some very cool people.
Do you want to
Carlos,
show
what
some?
is your classes with the kids? What does that
entail?
look?
So yeah, my sister actually was pretty surprised that I got the job. She never saw me as like a teacher. I would had never thought that I was gonna be a teacher or instructor. I never saw that. And Tracy can tell, she can vouch for, I was very nervous on taking on the job. I didn't think I would be able to do it, but it's very simple. All I do is like, maybe I'll talk about technicality, and then I'll because I'm able to get materials and endless materials, I can come up with a lesson plan. For example, next week we'll start doing like clay, working with clay. The week after that, we're gonna do some. I have a lot. We have a few things. I have a planner, and that's really crazy because I haven't been this organized, right? I said earlier busy, but I haven't been this organized since I was in high school. Making a schedule, making lesson plans, it's nuts. I never saw myself doing that kind of work. So basically, yeah, we touch on everything. It's an arts and crafts, right? So most of my students are girls, and they really want to do the bracelets things. So that's not something really that I've done, but there's a few things in these past few months that I've actually never touched on. And I would have considered myself like, yeah, like I know how to make, mandala signs and stuff like that. But it's a different thing. It's a totally different thing when you have to teach it, right? So you have to know enough of it to be confident enough to like, express to students and show them, so you can show them the right moves.
So what age groups do you work with?
So for Davis, it's 5th through 8th grade, and then for Kelly, it's sophomores and juniors.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the older kids? What interests them? Like what kind of arts?
It's super easy, dude. For the older kids, I think it's the easiest to connect with them. Just because I think I myself am still a kid in some ways. I love cartoons. I've always loved cartoons. I'm always going to. So that was really easy, a really easy way to connect with them, talk about the animes that are popping nowadays, and that catches their interest. So I do that on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I'm teaching a comic book class. And that is, again, something else that I had never actually dove into, even though, we all grew up with comics, or at least I did, reading them or whatever. But taking on the responsibility of actually making it, and, it's really cool, man.
You found that the kids catch on pretty easily, or
no, absolutely not. And that's what made it so much easier. That it's like you give what you give, and then some kids will be more excited towards a certain subject than another.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I first started, I was nervous about like being on time with the lesson plans. But I'll make a lesson plan, and something as simple as making a few sketches will last like the whole week. So for them, like, but they still eventually get excited about it, yeah, man, it's really rewarding, man. It's really rewarding to see the kids be into that kind of stuff.
Nice, awesome. It seems like you're really liking it and you're feeling it. Have you found that when you're working with the kids that you find inspiration in what they're making in your own work, or does it spark any ideas for you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. These kids are they're not tainted, man. They're not tainted by society's oppression. No, no, not to get there. No, but they express themselves in all kinds of different ways. I think some of the hottest, coolest stuff you'll see on in pop culture, it comes from like wacky brains, that think outside of the box. And that's the best thing about working with kids is that they have no filter. So the creativity just flows on forever, for sure.
Hmm. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so let me I wasn't gonna share much, but probably should share something, right?
Here are some photos.
Please.
So you got to open up the photos and then you can share your screen.
You ever share some of your work with the kids?
When I start the classes, when the semester first begins, yeah, I'll share like some of what I do.
Okay, cool.
It I've I think for someone like say like Jerry, he's very composed and very has a more serious tone to him. But a lot of my work, I wasn't able to share a lot of what I wanted to share because it wasn't, it's not school appropriate. But but
You have
still,
enough that is.
yeah, I had enough. I had enough so they can get an idea of what I do.
I don't get it. Two things. I'm
Like
serious
you
tone
have,
and then
you've expressed yourself in very you know you have work very expressive work that everyone can for all ages for your average spectator. You have a lot of cultural work, a lot of floral work.
I was asking because you're talking about presenting it to your classroom.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Hey, Carlos.
So although I try and sway away from fiction or fantasy, I still do like silly stuff like this,
Ooh, is that watercolor?
that is a pencil. It's pencil and pen, color pencil and pen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know I don't know what about sharing. I think that most of my work, I think you guys seen most of my work that I've done lately.
Well, not everyone who's watching the video
Not
has seen
me. I want to see
Not
that
me.
shit.
Thanks for that, Eric. Gosh.
I really like those vegetables. What were you thinking? Like what do
Dude.
you think that could head, or are you just kind of playing around?
Yeah. Some
Having
of my
fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Most of I think the best, coolest things that I come up with are not forced. When I force myself to try and do something, it never comes out how I want it, and it never comes out, natural or organic. So, yeah, I was doodling some vegetables and decided to add a body to them, and then the rest of the doodles came in.
Nice,
But
man.
yeah, I think I'm really happy with my style, but I would like to be taken a bit more serious with the work I do. I think we all have different layers. We're not just one person or one being. We have a lot of layers. Robert says, "Do you still do Sharpie on concrete? Love the use of concrete as an art material."
Like onions, yes, like Shrek. I was just thinking.
Like onions?
You remember, like people have layers, and I was thinking about
Oh,
Shrek.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like onions. Sharpie on concrete, like graffiti, or what do you mean?
I noticed the pictures that you had on Instagram. You had 4 pieces on concrete on Sharpie, and I thought they were pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was really old school, man. Yeah, that was an old pick. Yeah, absolutely. I think that actually, now that you bring that up, I originally in grammar school, I think that when I was rooted to graffiti, you know, seeing the 8th graders in lunchtime kind of do their thing there. So that's how I started drawing, getting into the art world. Once I started high school, I kind of dropped the whole graffiti thing and just started doing, you know, a variety of materials. To this day, I still try and mix my mediums up as much as I can. But these past, I think 2-3 years, I really became much more fun. I went back to my roots and started doing graffiti more serious. I think it had a lot to do with my run-ins with the law throughout the years, and wanting to just, it's art with I have heard people who are disconnected to the communities in the South Side not really understand it, or not really be able to yeah, they don't get it, right? They don't get it. And I can absolutely, I've always like, absolutely, I get it. You know, you don't get the graffiti, like, why are you writing on my walls? But that's the point. That there is the point, that there is no point. Graffiti is way different than it was in the 80s. Like, I'm over here trying to be flash and shit. It's changed a lot. So as an adult, graffiti means a lot more to me than it did when I was younger. When I was younger, it was just something that was really cool. You know, it was like, man, all the cool kids. But now as an adult, I see it much more different. It's a big fu to the city, you know, and it is all about that. It is all about for some people, sometimes it's for getting up, you know, and being more bigger. But for me, it means totally something different. And you would think, well, what's the point in that? What's the point of just ruining, you know, someone's property? Well, you're not ruining. Me personally, I don't would ever go and write on someone's like a mom and pop shop, right? You want to do city property. That's what you want to do. You want to take $1 from their pocket is what you want. And I think I've really grown fond of that. It's art with a meaning. It's for the first time I can say, like, it's much more meaningful than just what you see there. You know, there's a lot behind it. So I'm really glad you asked that, Robert. Thank you. So to answer your question, I do it just to a bigger extent now, using paints and stuff. So yeah, like I said, a lot of what you're seeing right now is on my Instagram, which was what I was planning on sharing with you guys. But which
Love
is
those dogs. I like this green, this blue and this pink one right here, like the bodies,
yeah.
but they're kind of like just.
Yeah, so some of those, what you guys are seeing, some of the ones in the bottom, those are from Inktober. I don't share all of them, but I share what I can. I don't think I've ever made it through the whole month, which is very embarrassing to say. But for those of you guys who don't know what Inktober is, it's pretty much you make a doodle or a sketch every day for the month of October. Usually there's a list, a font list, a pre-list. What would you call it, Trace? Like
A prompts list.
a prompt. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a prompt for people who make prompts, and you go and you follow the prompt. So that little weird wiggly thing, that actually, I'm very happy for that, because that's something that I just vomited, right? I think the prompt was something like trippy or dance or something. And
That's really.
Can you scroll back that down, Trace?
Yeah,
So
sure.
that this here right there.
Yeah. Okay.
The possum piece has definitely been one of my favorites. It's not huge. I think it was like a 3x8 or something like that. Super tiny, but it was it's one of my most favorite pieces, just because of how fast I did it, how focused I was, how fast I was able to finish it, and then the reaction I got from that. And I think that lasted a long time for me as a motivation, because a lot of people were kind of, they got it, you know. It's like, it's a joke, but at the same time, it's like really cute to look at. So those are actually, I'm very proud of that piece. I think it took me like 3 hours, and I sold it the first day that I had it for showing at across the street at a Slippery Slope.
Ooh, nice, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those are so yeah, as I get older, I kind of find my position in art. I have trouble with sometimes trying to label myself at what kind of artist I am, or, you know, things like that. But you kind of realize like, dude, it's art. There is no label in art. There is no wrong, there's no right, right? I think that's the a lot of people try and hate that when you get big and you sell your pieces for more, that you're like selling out. But I actually don't see it that way. I think that if you're painting, if you're expressing yourself, nobody can say anything about that. Nobody can put a label on you, no matter how big you make, no matter how. I think I might get a lot of shit for this, but I actually I actually do like a lot of Banksy's work. I do admire the man. He gets a lot of shit because he makes like millions, right? Or his pieces make millions. I don't even know if he actually receives the money, but one of his recent pieces, he sold it at an auction, and the second it sold, he tore it up. He put it in a frame that that ended up tearing its own piece. I was in New Orleans the other day, and I got to see his a piece that he did that they actually took off. They took off a whole piece of a wall to have it at their hotel, which
Isn't
is
that
corny.
crazy? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's corny and crazy, but that's I think I would love for people to treat my stuff like that. Who wouldn't, you know? Who wouldn't? They're more appreciative than anybody else by taking your shit.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah,
Carlos, I'm
Sure.
sharing a few things here.
yeah, go ahead. I think again, you guys could see all this on my Instagram. Oh, but yeah,
This
yeah.
one, that's a picture by Andrew Garcia
Yeah.
in the studio.
Oh,
I
look
like
at her
these
shoulder.
bird
Oh no, what
ones.
happened to her? Her shoulder's dislocated. Oh no.
It's also at an angle.
Yeah, it's also at an angle. Yeah.
This one looks like the bartender from Cole's.
Oh yeah, I read that. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with the lighting I did with in the trees.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Slipknot shirt.
Yeah, man. A little Slipknot shirt.
This
Yeah,
one's
she's
a little different than some of the ones you've done before. Yeah.
and what do you mean?
No, I just it's a little more expressive painting, like less line based, but more like paint based. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
meant.
That's something I'm definitely still working on, you know, filling in, building my block, building in with the paints, yeah, instead of line work. That one that girl is actually inspired by like all of my friends around me. All my friends around me there's a little bit of everyone in there. So
Yeah.
Is there something, oh God, I'm having trouble with what I'm trying to say. Oh, like because a lot of the things you're talking about trying to find a style and it's sort of a niche with the things you're making, and it hits me kind of funny because to me you're talking about a lot of the things that I kind of find suspect in, just like branding and a lot of, I know it's good for business, for selling things.
right. Yeah. Dude, yeah, I totally feel you, man. I totally feel you. And I think I have to let that go, man. I have to let go of the fact that like whatever you build, whatever you create, it'll mean something to you, right? You know what it means to you, but
Sure.
to others, it won't. And that's the same thing when it comes to branding and things like that. I have a lot of confidence. I have enough confidence in myself to be able to be like, you know what? If I start something like a clothing company or something, I would definitely make it. But it just there's this thing holding me back where I have to be able to first learn to give my art the love that it deserves, right? And I think sometimes I have trouble accepting that the judgment is inevitable, right? And
Well,
so is
it's something I admire though too, because the range is, impressive and rare to me to,
thanks, man. Thank
to
you.
be able to, but for real, yeah, because you do like a lot of very, very different things, very convincingly, like really well. And so
Thank you.
I want to, where that kind of led me, I wanted to ask, like, if there's a more abstract kind of thing in your mind, or it's not an easy question to how to articulate. So whatever you want to talk about, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But if there's something that's not even just purely, I'm not sure how to put it, but you know what I mean? Like a little bit beyond aesthetic or like a literal, like, well, beyond style, you know what I mean? That,
What do you mean? Like, do I want to express it, or have I, or what?
no, like something that's not just a style or a look purely, that is kind of, you know what I mean? That you like, you come back to, I guess I'll just put it that way. You know what I mean? Or it's like you find it's some motivation. It'll make you start a piece, you know?
Oh, okay.
Before it's an image, you know what I mean? It's like a thought before it's an image, and then I know I'm asking something far out.
No, absolutely, man. Thanks for that far out question, man. Yeah. So for example, it's not the most shareable piece of it of information that I would say. You know, I'm not fond of saying it, but I do see it does. I do feel sometimes when I medicate, things become the process is much more chill. It's much more relaxed, right? Not to say that my work comes out better.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, not to say that my work comes out better when I'm like medicated, but I definitely have to be in a certain state of mind. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like on anything. I mean like I have to be chill. It needs to be a good atmosphere for me, and that will eventually lead for me to be more creative, right? I think doing more abstract things is something that I really would like to have more practice on, just because I can become a little bit too obsessive with technique and technicality and trying to make something look, you know, specific. So I would definitely have to practice being much more loose with my stuff. I think, yeah, I don't know. Does that answer it? Like, yeah, I want to, and at the same time, I think that it needs to come naturally. It needs to come organically.
So, well, I was just kind of curious what you'd say, because I find that it, you know, you got a really solid illustration shops too, which are awesome. You know, abstract isn't really better than
Right. Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that, man. Yeah, definitely.
I know I used the word abstract, but I wasn't even talking about abstract art. I was talking about an idea before, you know, exactly.
Oh, an idea instead of the actual physio. Okay,
like,
yeah,
man.
man.
It looks like something if there's an idea before that even. Because some people start drawing and it's just like they like an aesthetic, so they're just drawing into that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then an
Well,
aesthetic.
you know what, man? I actually would like to lean more towards. I think that would help a lot. I think that would help any artist, right? No, I think when I have something in my head, I'm very keen on trying to get that, you know, trying to vomit that thought out on paper.
Vomit.
Yeah, well, because I want it out. You know, it's in my head. I see it. I just want to put it down on paper.
Yeah, that's what I was at. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jax. She doesn't hear me. I think they have headphones on.
Oh man, who knows?
Yeah, that's a lot. I think I never talked that much about myself before. Thanks for listening, guys.
Anytime.
What? Are you done?
Well,
Well,
do you guys have questions?
that's if
Oh,
people
yeah,
want to
no.
ask questions. That's awesome.
Yeah, you never want to regurgitate anything. Yeah, what's up, man?
This is not necessarily like a question, but like I said before, those figures that look like human bodies, but that are connected by that pink mass.
Yeah.
I think you should like do something with that, or maybe something. That's really cool. It
Always,
caught my
man.
attention.
Oh,
No.
like become a Michelangelo of your own realm and style, like where you just have like 200 figures on a ceiling.
Right?
That would be very
That's like, you know, 5 years. I don't know.
All right, I guess we have now the next group project right there, man.
Dude, I really like that. I don't think I've seen something like that. Not, not to blow you up, man, but you're my dog. I wanna see where that goes and see what you can do with that.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, yeah, so not only uploading but also archiving my work. I've done at least, I'm on my 40 something, almost 50th sketchbook, right? But I only have like 4 of them, dude. So archiving is definitely something that I have to be better at. So I'm very happy that I post some of my old stuff on Instagram. So I definitely, I'll like look back, and for something like that, yeah, I'll like look back at it and then it'll like jolt something, turn something on in my head and just kind of keep going with that. But I think I've seen all of you guys do it as well in the past. You bring back ideas, you progress on what you have. Andrew's really taking a liking to his color, dude. I love your chalk work, and you've really developed it. I think that's something we all do. We try and do, right? We have our old work, and then we use it to look back and then progress in the future, right? So I hope to do that with that trippy stuff, with the being more loose with my ideas.
Yeah.
Did you happen to paint that photo behind you, Carlos?
This guy or this guy? No, this is a poster.
The other one.
Yeah, so this one is one of my latest pieces, but it is not done. And I'm hoping someone will let me volunteer to paint their wall, because I would like to put the golden rings around both figures and then have it drip out onto the wall with gold. Yeah, with some gold or something. So if anybody wants their wall messed up, let me know.
I went to Oregon and I told some guy, I was like, hey, I know some artists that they'll go anywhere, just gotta pay us anywhere, any square. And he's like, you know what?
Go, dude. Global tour.
Yeah.
Global tour.
Unfortunately, I think he was trying to fuck me, but I'm just gonna take that in stride.
How unfortunate, man. How is that unfortunate? Come on.
Like I said, I'm taking it in stride. You know how somebody's just really nice and you just want to be like, all right. But then he gave me like 4 Modelos. I'm like, dude, it's
too nice, too nice.
Yeah.
Quote of the night, taking it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I appreciate you guys being here.
No problem, man. Thank you for showing us your art. I know how, if anybody looks at your work, it just makes you kind of like, anybody that shows their work it's more than bravery. So thank you for sharing.
Do we have any more questions? Does anyone else have more questions?
Can I ask something?
Okay, so I got Andrew and I got Jacob.
Andrew, go first.
All right, so I'm about to sort of stroke your ego here a lot.
Do it.
All right, so I'll talk a lot and everything. Like, I like that you like study a lot of the old masters kind of thing. Like, I tend to do that. Like, I almost see some similarities between like your work and my work sometimes.
Yeah, dude, same. We have to say, I think a lot of our visuals, we share a lot of the intro. I'll see some of your work and it'll be really easy to catch my attention, man.
And sometimes I go, man, I should have did that, and I should have done that. Like,
exactly, man. Yeah, that's why I say we share a lot of the same visuals.
Yeah, like when I saw your possums, I was like, man, I forgot you can actually do that with acrylic. Yeah, so like something that kind of like resonated with me, like when I was working on the mural in Logan Square, like Juan was like hanging out with me and everything, and he goes, dude, the best advice you can do, post your work no matter what. Like, even if you hate it, just post it. Like, it doesn't hurt, and who knows, someone will buy it. Like, and that kind of resonated with me a little bit. I was like, like, there's some pieces I should be posting, and I just got, but me, I post like crazy and everything. The biggest thing I took away from it was like I got to meet some very interesting people through it. Like, I would constantly post and I keep on meeting more and more people. Like, I got like offered to do a mural in Miami. Like,
Dude, that is
yeah,
awesome,
like
man.
some guy, like he liked my mural piece, and he was like, "Dude, like come to Miami, go do it." Another one of my friends who works at like who I met through it, who works at Netherland, like things like this guy, like he's made it on an Illustrator. Like he works on like video games like Mortal Kombat and all that and everything, and he's told me his process.
Dope, dope,
Like
dope, dope, dope.
we go back and forth about it, so like that's my biggest takeaway. But like when I see your work too, I'm always like the biggest thing and the number one thing I always gotta say, your work ethic. Your work ethic, your work ethic, your work ethic.
Thanks,
I
man.
love
Thank you,
your
man.
work ethic.
Dude, that
Like
means a lot. That means a lot coming
such
from you.
like a good work ethic and everything. Like every time I'm seeing you, you're working on something and everything. Like even you're chilling. I know you're thinking about it and all that. And that in some ways that kind of pushes me as an artist as well. I'm always like, okay, like Carlos is doing this. Like
Same,
what's
man. When it comes to your openness, man, when it comes to you, just you're always willing to work with anyone, right? You're always open arms to anyone who wants to work, who wants to art, and you do that. And that definitely has motivated me in the past, man. Seriously, I if I can't be on my own too much, or else I let my own thoughts kind of snowball me into my own
and that's why I
space.
need to bug you more often.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to collab with you
Thank you
sometime.
so much. Thank you for that, man. Thank you.
To definitely collab.
Definitely. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say all that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It means a lot saying that. I feel like I wasted a lot of time, and I feel like I think I've told this to Jacob. Uh, I feel like I wasted a lot of time focusing on 9 to 5s, like right after high school. Right, I had a part-time sophomore year. I was working full-time senior year. You know, didn't stop working for the last 15 years, and I think that I definitely feel sometimes that I'm trying to make up for that lost time. So when you
Yeah.
say that about my work ethic, it's what I'm trying to do, man. It's what I'm trying to make that switch over from working with these companies and like these dead end gigs to putting that type of effort into my work, right?
I mean, you do what you love, and there's also another saying, and we were talking earlier about your teacher stuff. Like I'm working in education. Like I have a group of class and everything. Like I can relate to everything you just said there too. Like how
Yeah,
many
yeah,
times I've had to get on them and everything. There's
yeah.
so much
I'm stoked to have that under my belt now. You know, I can put
yeah.
something different into my resume after so many years of having these stank ass references. I can actually put something worthy on my resume. Jacob, you had a
And
question, man?
Well, I wanted to bring up a saying too, sort of related. Heard it's a good Sir David who goes to the studio. He said, well, you're gonna have to work anyways, so you might as well do the thing that you would rather do, right?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
also, I want to say it's nice to see you again. I remember the last time I saw you was the very day that they announced there was officially a pandemic in the United States.
Oh
so,
yeah, that night you came over, man. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, you know, like kind of cool. It's been almost a year since then.
Yeah, man. It's been almost a year now.
We had like talked about some of the things that you were studying at the time, and I kind of missed a part of the meeting because I was getting food. But just wondering, like, has any of your deep study in anatomy, has that at all sort of changed or expanded your art style? And if so, are you kind of surprised in some of the directions that it's heading because of what you've been doing rudimentary?
Dude, no. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that I've continued to practice it, but what I've jumped on more is opening the mediums. So you know, sculpting and painting. I think I still keep that just for, you know, for reference right behind me. So but yeah, man, I'm trying to do more like more bigger stuff, and I'm trying to do more color stuff, you know, like super huge things, you know, like massive.
Nice.
massive stuff, and I'm trying to work with color more because I think even if you look at what Tracy was showing you guys on the Instagram, a lot of it is sketches, it's doodles, you know, it's what I've been practicing. So
Yeah.
but to get back at that, I was very I used to be very insecure about the fact of not following my studies after high school, you know, not going to a university or anything like that. So but I was able to prove to myself, right, that if you have an interest in something, you can study. You're going to find a way to study it. And I'm very happy with what my results are sometimes. Sometimes I can come up with some really realistic looking images thanks to that short period of time where I was very, very much into human anatomy. That's awesome. Thank you so much for referencing that, man. That's long ass time since we talked about that.
I know. It sounds like you're hitting at it from different corners and kind of closing in on what you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've said this more than once. Like, I'm ready to be homeless. I'm ready to be a bum. I don't care where I physically am, as long as I'm painting or arting, man. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I had to say all that, but you get my point. You get my point.
Carlos, you remember when I was crashing in my car?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be there, man. I'm gonna take that Jeep all across the country, man. I swear to God.
So many ideas are gonna come to you. You're gonna feel like, man, maybe I should buy an RV or something. It's
a bigger truck.
Yeah.
I spent the last 5
free.
years trying to get that truck.
Yeah. So you're definitely right in that mind of thinking, man. But you're already, like Andrew said, your work ethic, it's speaking for itself. Like you have amazing stuff, and it's just the older you get, the more amazing it's gonna get. So I'm excited to see what's next from not only you but everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I think the coolest part of the most rewarding thing about AnySquared is that after 5 years, you really see some people, you know, really become, becoming their own, just all out, just surpassing what you could have thought, what I could have thought they could have done, what I could have done. I see you guys teaching, see you guys traveling, getting these like teaching gigs. It is awesome. It is awesome to see growth in my own group, man, from all of you.
Oh yeah.
So I appreciate that. A lot of inspiration from my colleagues, and you guys are my colleagues. Thank you so much.
It's a community. Even though we can't commune right now.
We are right now, right?
Yeah, we are, but we're not physically together, except Carlos is over there.
Tracy, you just want to hug all of us. Just be
yes,
honest.
I do.
Okay. She does.
I want to hug you too.
Yeah, AnySquared would have been a crazy hotspot. We didn't change anything. Just drinking wine, like, sharing the.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Absolutely, man.
So for this recorded part of the thing, somebody's crunching. Okay, for the recorded part of this, does anyone else have any other questions? Like let's do a couple more. Like, this has been a really good conversation so far. I'm really excited about it. I'm so glad Carlos wanted to do it loosey-goosey.
Yeah, you've had a bunch of professionals on, dude. I was not going to try and like match you guys. Like, I was like, dude, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm very happy with the turnout. I'm happy to see everyone's faces. I'm happy to see you guys came and watched this. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Helen.
Oh.
She says the same thing. Is I love you and I love your work so much.
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Again, I get, I hate working out of a sketchbook. You know what I mean? So I really admire what I see. I was really like, into like Jacob's question and where that went, because that was my first thought actually for the question was, you know, like if I was gonna be like standing next to you with a stick in your studio, just like do what I want, you know, like some whatever, like aggro patron or something.
Right,
I
dude.
want to see what you do with this medium, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one. You know? Yeah, but,
Um,
yeah, it's
yeah,
something-
and I try and push that with the kids, you know. Yeah, I definitely I'll have a lesson plan. For example, today we were creating characters, for example, right? I'm showing them what to think about when you're coming up with a character and woo woo. But I also give them the option, right? You can follow along, or you can just have your sketchbook open and you can draw, which is something that you're not going to hear ever from no teacher ever say, you know. So I'm glad I get to be the teacher and I get to make the rules. So
yeah, that's right. That's super right.
yeah. Do what you want. Just have your sketchbook in front of you.
They don't mess with you too much, like bureaucracy or anything with that. I mean,
No, because it's an arts and crafts class. That's why I don't think I'd be able to do that, like, you know, in bio studies or like history or anything.
oh,
Like
Wait, is it
I've worked somewhere they did, frankly. That's why,
oh no, I believe
really
you.
arts and
Yeah.
crafts?
What's
it re-
that?
Like, is it really specifically arts and crafts? Like, is that what it's called?
Yes. It's
That
yeah,
is so cool. I want that. Like that craft part. I need that in my life.
for sure. Which is the part that I'm not used to. Again, like most of my students are girls, so they brought up doing bracelets. So now I have to learn how to make bracelets.
I love that. Oh my God. Wait, how old are they?
They are sophomores and juniors, and then the
Oh.
other group is 5th through 8th grade.
That is so cute.
Yeah, they are awesome. They are awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. What have you guys been into or up to? I mean, let's pass it
Well,
around.
you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap up the recorded part and we're gonna talk and be our little community off recording. So thank you, Carlos, for such a wonderful,
Thank you. Thank you
like
for putting
exuberant talk.
Carlos.
for the spotlight. Thank you for the
And
spotlight.
and you're so bright. And it's been a really great talk. Thanks so much.
It was awesome. It was so much fun. Thank you.
Yay. Check social media for future Zooms and future streams.